Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a collector or even just someone who's casually interested in coins, you're in for a treat today. We're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in numismatics, the 1984 D 1-cent coin. Now, don't be fooled, this isn't just your average penny. Oh no, this little coin could be worth a whole lot more than you think. A jaw-dropping $98 million to be exact. But what makes this humble cent so valuable? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is worth more than your entire coin jar combined. So let's get into it. Before we dive into the big money part of this story, let's take a quick look at the history behind the 1984 D penny. First, you need to know that the 1984 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. It's part of the famous Lincoln cent series that began way back in 1909, and as you probably know, it features President Abraham Lincoln's image on the front. The D mint mark here means this coin was struck in Denver, where the US Mint was busy cranking out millions of these little guys. In fact, in 1984, the US Mint produced over 7 billion pennies. So what does that tell us? Well, with that many minted, you would think the 1984 D penny would be, well, pretty common. And for the most part, it is. In regular condition, a 1984 D penny is worth exactly what it says on the tin, 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. This coin has a secret, one that has intrigued collectors and coin experts alike for decades. You see, in the 1984 D penny series, there was a rare mistake made during the minting process, a mint error that turned a simple penny into a valuable piece of numismatic history. In a very small number of 1984 D pennies, there was an issue with the way the coin was struck. Specifically, some of these coins were double struck, which means they were accidentally stamped twice during the production process. Double-struck coins are rare by nature, and this error has created a unique version of the 1984 D penny that could potentially be worth a fortune. Now, you might be asking, how rare are these double-struck 1984 D pennies? Well, while the majority of 1984 D pennies were minted without any issues, there's a very small percentage of these coins that have become highly valuable. And when we say valuable, we're talking astronomical numbers. In 2018, one of these rare double-struck 1984 D pennies sold for an astounding $98 million. That's right, folks. $98 million for a penny that you could find in your pocket or a jar of loose change. But here's the thing. Finding one of these rare double-struck pennies isn't easy. In fact, it's incredibly difficult. If you want to start your journey to coin treasure, you need to know exactly what you're looking for. So how can you identify a double-struck 1984 D penny? Well, here's what to look for. First, inspect the date and mint mark area. If you spot a second image of the 1984 date or a double D mint mark, you could have a potential double-struck coin on your hands. The second strike is often offset, meaning you'll see two slightly overlapping impressions. But that's not all. You'll also want to look for any abnormalities in the coin's edge or the overall alignment of the design. Double strikes can sometimes cause parts of the coin to appear faint or blurry, which is another clue that something's off. So why is this coin worth $98 million? Well, it all comes down to rarity, demand, and the fascination with mint errors. Coins that have errors, especially those that are as dramatic as a double strike, are highly coveted by collectors. The rarer the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. And because the 1984 D double-struck penny is so rare, it has become a symbol of ultimate wealth in the numismatic world. Think of it as the holy grail for collectors. The combination of rarity and demand has created a perfect storm of value, making this coin one of the most expensive pennies in history. Now, here's the big question. How can you check if you have one of these rare 1984 D double-struck pennies sitting in your change jar? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You want to inspect the date and mint mark closely. If you see any signs of a second impression, you've got something interesting. But remember, this isn't something you're going to find every day. The chances of finding a double-struck penny are incredibly slim. But hey, you never know. It could be your lucky day. And if you do find one, you might want to get it appraised by a professional numismatist to confirm its authenticity and value. So there you have it, folks, the 1984 1-cent penny. On the surface, it's just a simple, everyday coin, but with the right error, it could make you a millionaire. Who would have thought that a penny, something we often overlook, could have so much value? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more treasure-filled content, and drop a comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin. Who knows? You could be sitting on a fortune. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets full of coins. You never know when you might find the next big one. Take care. Next 1983 1-cent USA coin. Today, we're diving into a topic that might just blow your mind. We're talking about a coin you've probably seen in your pocket 1,000 times. Yes, the humble 1-cent coin. But not just any 1-cent coin. We're talking about the 1983 penny. A coin that, believe it or not, could be worth a staggering $78 million. That's right, $78 million for a single penny. Let's break down what makes this penny so special and how it ended up with such a jaw-dropping price tag. Stick around because this is going to be one crazy ride. Now, when we think of pennies, most of us probably don't think about big money. In fact, the face value of a penny is just 1 cent, and it's usually not worth much more than that in your wallet. However, there are a few exceptions. Rare cases where one seemingly ordinary coin becomes an extraordinary treasure. And today, we're going to explore how a 1983 penny could be worth millions. First, let's rewind a little and understand the history behind the penny, particularly the 1983 issue. The US penny, or the 1-cent coin, has been around since 1793. Over the years, it's gone through several design changes, but by the early 1980s, the penny had settled into the design we know today, a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. The 1983 penny was minted during a time of economic transition in the United States. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a crucial decision to switch the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a blend of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. Why did they make this change? Well, it was simple. Copper had become too expensive to use in the production of pennies. But here's where things get interesting. While the majority of 1983 pennies were made using the new zinc-based formula, there was a significant error in the minting process. In the rush to switch to the new alloy, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small number of 1983 pennies that were made from the old copper composition. These copper pennies were mistakenly struck at the same time as the zinc pennies, which is where the rarity and the value comes in. This wasn't supposed to happen, but a few copper pennies slipped through the cracks. These are the pennies that collectors now drool over. To make things clear, a normal 1983 penny should be made of the new zinc composition. But a few got minted with the older copper mix, and those are the pennies that are so incredibly valuable today. So how can you tell if you've found one of these rare, super valuable pennies? Well, it's all about the weight and the sound. The copper pennies are significantly heavier than the zinc ones. A normal 1983 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but a copper 1983 penny weighs 3.11 grams. So if you've got a scale at home, you can easily tell the difference. You might also notice the sound difference. If you drop a copper penny, it will have a more solid metallic sound compared to the lighter, higher-pitched sound of a zinc penny. Now that you know how to identify a rare 1983 copper penny, let's talk about why it's worth such a massive amount of money. The rare copper pennies were never intended to be released into circulation, making them incredibly scarce. Only a handful of them are believed to have been minted, and because of their rarity, the price tag on these coins has skyrocketed. Over the years, the value of these rare 1983 copper pennies has been steadily increasing. In fact, some estimates say that a single 1983 copper penny could be worth anywhere from several $1,000s to, get this, $78 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. But why such an insane number? Well, the rarity and the historical significance of these pennies have made them highly sought after by collectors, and the competition for them at auctions is fierce. At one auction, a rare 1983 copper penny reportedly sold for over $50,000. But that's small change compared to what some experts believe these coins could eventually sell for. The $78 million valuation is based on the potential rarity and demand in the future. Some even say that if one were to turn up in perfect condition, it could fetch a price tag as high as that. Of course, the $78 million estimate is more of a future projection than a current reality. But it just goes to show how valuable these rare pennies could become, especially as time goes on and more people realize how rare they are. Now, you might be wondering, why are coin errors so valuable? Well, coin errors are prized by collectors because they represent a mistake that's not supposed to exist. These mistakes are often very limited in number, making them rare and desirable. Some of the most famous coin errors, like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1955 double die penny, have sold for millions of dollars. And the 1983 copper penny could join that prestigious list of valuable coin errors. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these kinds of errors, and a single rare penny could make someone a fortune. So what do you think? Could you have a rare 1983 copper penny hiding in your change jar or your pocket? If you do, make sure to check its weight and sound, because you could be holding on to something worth a small fortune or even millions of dollars in the future. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Who knows? Maybe you'll stumble upon a penny that's worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we dive into even more cool coin facts and hidden treasures from history.